So I wanted to do my 3 keys for the Dolphins to win tomorrow in Tennessee. So in order for the Dolphins to get a win here, this is what I'm thinking. 3 things. And we're going to go with number 1. Number 1 is the Dolphins need to run the football. Now, of course, we'd like to think the Dolphins can be able to protect Jay Cutler as much as they want, and we'd like to think a bunch of these other different things, but they need to run the football. They need to get the run game going. Jai is the biggest asset on offense. And now I know a lot of us would like to think that, especially me, that we have a very good receiving core, but our greatest asset on offense is Jai. Knock on wood that he stays healthy, but for a guy who dropped in the draft to the 5th round because of his health, to be healthy so far in his career and be able to do what he did last year is very impressive. And it was a knee issue coming out of Boise State, so the fact that he's still, most of the time had knee issues but been able to get through it is really a blessing in disguise. So I think running the football needs to be the number 1 priority. I think if we can get the run game going, there's a lot that we can get going in the passing game. You open up play action, you make the defense guessing, and you start to bring things up that makes it easier for the offense to run smoothly. The offense needs to run smoothly. It needs to run through Jai in order for us to get points on the board, and we've seen that already. Number 2, we need to be able to get the defense in a position to make plays without them having to rely on the offense to make plays. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that the Dolphins defense needs to be able to play defense. They can't be having to play comeback. The reason why the Dolphins haven't been playing so well in terms of people looking at their defense and their offense and saying the Dolphins are a bad team offensively, on paper, the Dolphins have a lot of great talent offensively. On paper, the Dolphins have a lot of great talent defensively. The one thing that they aren't doing is scoring, and that's on offense. But with the defense, they're playing comeback every single game. Chargers playing comeback. Jets playing comeback. Saints playing comeback. And look, everyone can say that this and that, this is a bad issue, this is a bad issue, but in order for something to run smoothly, you can't continuously have your Dolphins defense, or your defense in general, you can't have your defense playing comeback 24/7. It's not going to work. So the Dolphins defense needs to be able to play defense, not play comeback defense. And I mean, we have examples of it the last 3 weeks. All they're doing is playing comeback defense, and it looks bad for the Dolphins because their offense looks even worse because the defense isn't even playing horribly. The offense just can't get anything going, so the defense is on the field so long that there's nothing for them to do. If your defense is going to be on the field for more than half of the game, maybe even 3/4 of the game in the Dolphins case, they're gonna run down eventually. It happens. You can have Seattle's defense in 2012, that Legion of Boom, everything like that, but eventually it's just gonna run down. We gotta stop playing comeback defense. Number 3. So number 3 for me is simple: score. If the Dolphins want to win, and everyone's gonna say, well, obviously you have to score to win the game, but if the Dolphins want to win tomorrow, they must score. You cannot come out tomorrow against Tennessee and throw a dud. You cannot come out tomorrow against Tennessee and only get 10 points. You have to go out and pummel them. You have to get 24 points, 31 points, something along those lines to get your season back on track. Now, I like to say we're 1-2. I don't fear too much being 1-2. We were 1-4 last year, and I had put out a video saying, do we trust Jai? And the next game, Jai ran for 200 yards. And we have to be able to say, can we trust our offense? But they need to score. They will not go anywhere if they cannot get at least like 2 touchdowns a game. Offense needs to score. And if they don't, we're just going to see the Dolphins look horrific again. And thankfully for me, last Sunday I was moving, so I didn't really see the game. Now, I was watching bits and pieces of the Bayern game, which of course we ended up drawing. And then I was watching bits and pieces of the Dolphins game. And that's why I really didn't make a video talking about the game, because I didn't watch it necessarily. But out of what I saw, our offense looked horrible and our defense looked good, but they were just on the field too much. So let's tie in all of our 3 together. When you talk about the offense, number 1, offense needs to show up, run through Jay. Number 2, defense can't be playing comeback 24/7. And number 3, offense needs to score. That all ties into one thing, one man, one plan, and that is Jay Cutler. If Jay Cutler can get this offense going, it'll open up miles and miles and miles of things for the Dolphins to be able to succeed. And in order for them to succeed, Jay Cutler needs to get his motor going. Peace.